The date is November 22nd, 2002. 5 years have passed since the release of the last major installment of the Mortal Kombat franchise, and fans are excited to welcome the next chapter into their homes. Released on PlayStation 2, Xbox, GameCube and Game Boy Advance, this game marks the beginning of a new era for the franchise and will sell more than 2 million copies during its first 6 months, winning several awards including Best Fighting Game of 2002.
Wow!
Most importantly, the game will attract a whole new generation of fans and prove that there is life still left in the series, in spite of all the attempts to ruin the franchise. But before all this can happen, let's head back and see all the events that led to the creation of Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. After taking a break from Mortal Kombat with the release of The Grid, the development team at Midway, led by co-creator Ed Boon, returned to the Mortal Kombat franchise with a fresh set of ideas and a desire to deliver a completely reinvented fighting game, starting completely from scratch. The world has changed tremendously since the release of Mortal Kombat 4, and the initial plan to release an arcade version of the title was quickly cancelled when Midway left the arcade business to focus on the development of titles for the home systems. With this decision, the team started experimenting and studying the 3 major home systems at the time, and the development team grew to 50 people to address the demand that came with creating a much larger, content-filled game. The title was created on top of the cross-platform Renderware engine, developed by British software house Criterion Software. Combined with the power of the new generation home systems, there were capabilities that were previously not possible. Mortal Kombat 5 was first announced at E3 in May 2001, with a short trailer that did not include any footage from the game. Scorpion and Jax were featured, but only in a few, barely noticeable frames. At the same time, Midway shared the idea of simply calling the title Mortal Kombat, a decision based on their desire to reinvent the franchise. A month after the show, Ed Boon published an image of a new fighter. Zebron was originally meant as an April Fool's joke, but couldn't make it in time as the game was not officially announced. At this time, many fans began to question the direction the new title was taking.
Feeble.
The first official images appeared a month later and featured 3 of the returning characters. The outfits seen in the released art differed significantly from those used in the game and showed the evolution of their design. After a long period of rumours and speculation, the official title of the game was announced in January the following year. The installment number was made as part of the logo, and Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance was scheduled for the fall of 2002. The date was later pushed back to November, giving the developers more time to work on the title. Released artwork showed that several other names and logo designs were considered for the game. In the coming months, fans hungry for information were pleased by the release of the first in-game screenshots, art and renders, several articles, character announcements, story details, and the first official trailer. Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance made its public debut at E3 in May 2002. The show build featured 8 playable characters on a select screen very different from the one used in the final version, to which many more fighters were revealed by that time. The E3 presentation was completed with a live show by Edema, performing their original song, Immortal. Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance was received generally favourable by both the critics and the fans. Starting with the introduction video, each player quickly understood that this was to be a completely different Mortal Kombat game.
Liu Kang is dead.
The story revolves around the sorcerers Shang Tsung and Quan Chi, who form an alliance to resurrect the undead army of Outworld's previous ruler, the Dragon King. Their quest begins with them killing the 2 beings who could stop them, the champion of Earthrealm and the emperor of Outworld.
I can no longer stand idly by and watch this evil consume the world. I have relinquished my status as Elder God to return to Earth and lead you all to battle against our old adversaries. We must act now. We must stop this deadly alliance.
Just like other aspects of the gameplay was completely changed and moved entirely to 3D, with characters being able to move freely. The uniform basic moves were replaced by 3 unique fighting styles per character, 2 for hand-to-hand combat and 1 weapon-based. The player can switch between these styles and can even link them during combos. The weapons themselves are much more advanced in this game. Each fighter has a unique weapon, which was originally going to be a detachable part of the 3D models. This idea was later dropped, due to the delay caused by the technicalities of removing the weapon and returning it back to its place. Some of the weapons could even be used for impalement, resulting in a loss of the weapon style for the fighter, but also resulting in a constant drain of life for the opponent. Unlike its predecessors, Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance focuses more on the hand-to-hand and weapon-based combat, and less on the use of special moves, which are limited to only a few per character. Many of the beloved basic moves like the uppercut, the sweep, the roundhouse kicks and the high jumps were also omitted from the game. All these changes and restrictions created a significantly different gameplay and were met with mixed feelings by hardcore fans of the franchise. Even though infinite combos were discovered after its release, the game is overall well balanced. It however failed to appeal to the tournament scene, and the lack of online support resulted in its rather fast death when compared to previous installments. According to the developers, support for online play was not added, as they felt the current infrastructure was not fast enough at the time to support this feature in a fighting game. Fans of the franchise suspected a lack of development time as another reason, a theory supported by the inclusion of only 1 finishing move per character, and the fact that some of them felt rushed and unimaginative.
Quan Chi wins. Fatality.
Sorry about that.
So brutal. So evil. So deadly. Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. Rated mature.
The final version of the game features 23 fighters, 11 of which were locked at the beginning of the game. All of the returning characters were significantly redesigned. Parts of the new designs are criticised by the fans, as some of the characters only retained the most basic aspects of their original look. Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance is the game to introduce the most new characters to the series. Unfortunately, lack of originality in design and story prevented some of them from becoming fan favourites.
Boraicho.
Taking inspiration from the Mortal Kombat live-action series, the developers introduced Liu Kang's master.
Li Mei.
As a native of Outworld, Li Mei receives an offer from Quan Chi to participate in the Deadly Alliance tournament in exchange for freedom for her people.
Kenshi.
A rogue swordsman, tricked by the sorcerer Shang Tsung to release the souls of his ancestors, an act that left him blind. Kenshi's original story, his design and fighting styles quickly turned him into the single most popular of the new characters.
Malvado.
A member of the Red Dragon, a clan of highly skilled and disciplined warriors. Renegade members of this clan once formed the Black Dragon. Mavado's design went through a lot of changes before it was finalized for the game.
Mitara.
The first vampire in the series. Her realm was once conquered by Shao Kahn, and she is on a quest to free it from Outworld's grasp.
Draman.
A demon from the Netherrealm, Draman serves Quan Chi in exchange for his freedom.
Su Hao.
Another member of the Red Dragon. Su Hao was able to penetrate the ranks of the Agency for Outer World Investigation, formed by Jax and Sonya, ultimately destroying it.
Frost.
The development team has always wanted to introduce a female version of one of the most popular characters. When this finally happened and Frost was introduced as a female counterpart of Sub-Zero with similar freezing powers, the fan community was divided. Some welcomed the idea, and others hated it and never warmed to the character.
Morlock.
This massive demon from the Netherrealm was a personal protector of Quan Chi before the sorcerer escaped from the Dark Realm without him. Moloch serves as an unplayable sub-boss, a role often occupied by a member of the Shao Kahn race. The game includes 2 additional hidden fighters, who, unlike the others, are neither present on the select screen, nor have any finishing moves or their own unique fighting styles.
Blaze.
This mysterious Outworld elemental was first introduced in Mortal Kombat 2 as a background character. Years of rumours and speculations resulted in his appearance in the game, a fate shared by other characters as well. He is a guardian of the last known Great Dragon Egg.
Mocap.
The name of this character is an abbreviation for motion capture, and he was designed to resemble the look of motion capture artist Carlos Pezzina, who has worked on Mortal Kombat since the beginning and has portrayed Raiden in the 2D versions of the game. A countless number of character ideas were dropped during development, and some of them were added as art images to the crypt, a place where players can unlock bonus content by using coins they earn by playing the various modes of the game. Among these are characters from previous iterations of the franchise, as well as several new ones, some of which will appear in later installments. A considerable amount of additional story was included in the new practice-like conquest mode, which was divided into missions for every fighter. Each mission had a different objective, from executing a simple set of moves to performing complex combos and defeating enemies. Unfortunately, parts of the story were later rendered non-canon.
Test your might.
Test Your Might returns to the series after being absent since its introduction in the first Mortal Kombat. A second game, called Test Your Sight, was introduced to add diversity to the gameplay experience.
You chose unwisely.
The Game Boy Advance version of Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance is significantly different from the others, mostly due to the hardware limitations of the system. While it preserves the 3D nature of the gameplay and most of the game modes, it features sprite-based pseudo 3D graphics and less characters. The game was a much bigger success than the previously released Mortal Kombat Advance, which resulted in an exclusive sequel to be released for the handheld console in the summer of 2003. Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition was built on top of an enhanced version of the engine used in the Game Boy Advance port of Deadly Alliance. The game features most of the characters which were not part of the first game, and even includes 3 exclusives.
Serena.
This is the first appearance for the character in a fighting game after she was introduced as a member of the Brothers of the Shadow in Mythology Sub-Zero.
Cybot.
The ninja was included as a black version of Scorpion. Through his ending, the developers explain the mysterious death of Goro prior to the events of Deadly Alliance.
Sector.
The cybernetic warrior returns to form his own clan after losing control over the Lin Kuei to Sub-Zero. In addition to the new characters, the game supports several multiplayer modes and even features weapon fatalities. Players who have the Tournament Edition can play against owners of Deadly Alliance. In this case, the 2 players can only use the 3 characters present in both games. Most of the introduced story elements were further explored in later games, which increased the significance of the title to the timeline of the franchise.
Sector. Win. Fatality.
Rated M for mature. From the co-creator of the original Mortal Kombat. The pain is real.
For bone-crunching realism, there's no power greater than X.
After leaving Midway in 2000, John Tobias and several other members of the Mortal Kombat team formed their own game studio and began working on Tao Feng, Fist of the Lotus, an Xbox-exclusive fighting game. Before its release, many of the fans envisioned the title as a direct rival of Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. The game incorporates realistic damage effects, including cuts, bruises, and ripped clothing. Additionally, Tao Feng is notable for its interactivity with the environments, such as destruction and using the surroundings for special attacks. Upon its release, the game faced mixed reviews which criticized the depth of its gameplay and was almost completely dismissed by most Mortal Kombat fans. In 2005, the studio released its second and final game before ceasing operation. With the release of Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, the franchise found a way to reinvent and introduce itself to a brand new generation of gamers. Even though it was too much of a departure from the series for some of the hardcore fans, the game successfully laid the groundwork for the arrival of the Dragon King. The release of Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance managed to revitalize the franchise and give fans hope for its future. The game not only incorporated balanced gameplay, new presentation, and an interesting story, but also tons of hidden content, including ideas that did not make it in the final version. Its success not only led to an exclusive sequel for Game Boy Advance, but also to the rebirth of the franchise, with several companies moving forward with a lot of different Mortal Kombat projects. One of the first was a failed attempt at creating a port of Deadly Alliance for the mobile phone market. This game was in development by Wild Seed, which acquired the license for the Game Boy Advance version and wanted it to be the first game for their Identity cell phone, which included exchangeable smart skins. The title was planned for a release at some point during the summer of 2004. The game was close to completion and was awaiting Midway's approval. Unfortunately, it never saw the light of day, meaning either the required final approval was not given, or something else unforeseen caused the game's cancellation. In May 2004, information appeared online that publisher THQ Wireless had teamed up with developer Backbone to bring the original Mortal Kombat to mobile phones in October 2004. Screenshots with 3 or 4 planned characters were published on the pages of several magazines later that same year. For better or worse, the title shared the fate of the Deadly Alliance port for mobile phones and was never released. In January 2005, a THQ representative informed fans that the company still has the license and plans to release the game. Since then, players have considered the title as officially cancelled, as neither one of the companies ever spoke of it again. These two games are only a small part of what happened in the Mortal Kombat universe after the release of Deadly Alliance. Most fans have neither heard of nor remember either one of them, as the attention of the public was drawn towards a much larger and far more ambitious project.
Wonderful!
After the release of Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, the development team at Midway began working on another major installment of the fighting game franchise. The goal from the start was to expand the game and prove that Mortal Kombat can be so much more than just a fighting game. Online support was announced for the title very early in development by co-creator Ed Boon, when he personally confirmed the game in April 2003. Mortal Kombat 6, as the title was originally called, received its final name, Mortal Kombat Deception, in January 2004, when Midway registered the domains for its website. However, the title of the game was changed to Mystification in France, due to the fact that the word deception means disappointment in the French language. A month later, Midway revealed that Deception will be released for Xbox and PlayStation 2 in the fall of 2004. A GameCube version of the title was not announced at the time. However, such version would be released several months later in February 2005.
A sinister force hides in the shadows, obsessed with dominating every realm, using the trust and loyalty of an ally to take it all. Through deception.
Fight!
Mortal Kombat Deception. Coming fall 2004.
The game was shown to the public for the first time during Midway's Gamers Day in March 2004. It was also the spotlight of E3 in May, where it was chosen for Best Fighting Game of the Expo by 1UP, GameSpot and IGN. Shortly before the expo, a German magazine published an article which revealed a lot of unexpected information. Among other things, it mentioned the possible inclusion of Sector as a playable character, but with the addition of a question mark next to its name. The level of detail in the article forced Midway to officially state that the information was based on an outdated document, and not everything is accurate.
Finish him!
Mortal Kombat Deception was released in the United States in October 2004 and became Midway's fastest-selling fighting game to that day, with more than 1 million units sold in its first week. In Europe and other PAL territories, the game was released on November 19th. The story is a direct continuation of the storyline from Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance.
It was not by chance that this struggle came to be. The blame falls squarely upon my shoulders for giving evil the chance it needed, and therefore fulfilling an ancient prophecy. Raiden's Earthrealm champions had failed to stop the Deadly Alliance from fully resurrecting the mummified army of the Dragon King. In the end, only Raiden himself stood between Earthrealm and total destruction. Defying the Elder God's wishes, he alone challenged Quan Chi and Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat, Earthrealm's last hope for freedom. Raiden was defeated. Their victory was short-lived. As suspicion and lust for power overcame both Quan Chi and Shang Tsung, the former allies turned on each other. The Deadly Alliance was no more. Quan Chi defeated Shang Tsung and reveled in his conquest. But it is said that there is only one true ruler of Outworld. And that ruler had returned. Onaga, former Emperor of Outworld, the Dragon King. Death awaited all who stood in his way. And so it was that a new alliance was formed out of desperation. There was only one chance left. Raiden's sacrifice was in vain, for the blast had little effect on the Dragon King. Now Onaga has what he needs to shape the realms as he sees fit. I was the fool who brought him this power. Only I can destroy this threat, born of deception.
A large portion of the story is told in the game's Conquest mode. The new version of Conquest mode is significantly improved upon and has evolved into a complete action-adventure game in which you play as the new character, Shujinko, and follow all the events that led to the resurrection of the Dragon King. Players have the opportunity to explore 6 different Mortal Kombat worlds, 2 of which are completely new, having never been mentioned before, and see how the character begins as a teenager and grows into an old man. Many Mortal Kombat characters appear in Conquest mode, providing Shujinko with different missions to complete and rewarding him either with coins or keys which can be used to unlock coffins in the crypt. Different events only occurred if you're in the right place at the right time. This time-dependent gameplay element enhances the replayability of the game. Conquest is not the only additional mode in the game, as Deception takes the concept of including additional mini-games to a completely new level. Chess combat is similar to traditional chess, in which 2 players take control over different figures on a chessboard. However, each figure has different abilities, stamina, and importance. The Sorcerer, for example, can cast different spells, including killing an enemy figure or teleporting a figure across the chessboard. When 2 figures meet on one square, they must fight in Mortal Kombat. The winner is allowed to remain on the square, while the loser is removed from the board. The battlefield itself is interactive too, allowing you to set traps or occupy power fields. The ultimate goal of each game is to destroy the leader of the opposition. An early trailer for Mortal Kombat Deception shows a very different version of chess combat, with figures that represent characters from Deadly Alliance, which were not part of the final roster.
Ready? Fight!
Inspired by Street Fighter's Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, the development team introduces puzzle combat. The goal here is to collect as many blocks of the same color as possible, then destroy them with the dragon symbol, sending them directly into your opponent's field. The gameplay is followed by super deformed versions of 12 Mortal Kombat characters on specially designed backgrounds. Each of these characters possess a special ability that can benefit the player. Reacting on what is happening on the screen, the fighters will not only attack each other but also perform finishing moves at the end of the fight. Many more deformed characters are stored on the disc than are available in the game itself. All these fighters are fully playable, but only accessible with third-party cheat codes. The depth of gameplay of these 2 minigames highly exceeds anything previously seen in the franchise. Many fans even consider them worthy as standalone titles.
Look out!
Rated M for mature. It will summon you. It will challenge you. It will consume you. Mortal Kombat Deception online for PlayStation 2 and Xbox.
The main fighting game contains 24 characters, 8 of which are new to the franchise, 3 returning from Deadly Alliance, and 13 from older games. Half of the characters are not accessible at the beginning of the game and must be unlocked in the crypt. Rumours about super unlockable characters, not represented on the character select screen, circulated around the internet for a long time after the game's release, but none of them turned out to be true. Most of the returning characters were absent from the franchise for years, and thus were heavily requested by the fans, each of them having to be redesigned and adapted to the visual representation of the game. According to developers, the new technologies allowed them to finally implement their original design ideas. This was not possible with the limitations of the previous platforms and the 2D sprites. One of the most obvious cases is that of Cabal, who is now wearing his trench coat which was first seen in sketches for Mortal Kombat 3. Sub-Zero was one of the first characters revealed. When detailed images of his new look were published, they were met with strong criticism by the fans. Many stated that the design did not fit the character and pointed out the strong resemblance to the Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The feedback of the fans did not lead to a change in the character's appearance in the final version of the game. With a few exceptions, all the new characters are either from the two new realms or are members of the new Black Dragon.
Havoc.
A cleric of chaos, Havoc is from one of the two newly introduced Mortal Kombat realms and was initially meant to be an alternative outfit for Noob Saibot. He was later turned into a standalone character, probably due to the differences between the design of the Black Ninja and his own. In the first reports of his existence, he was referred to as Scab.
My goodness. Hotaru.
A warrior from the realm of order, Sado. He serves the Dragon King, and he is convinced that a Naga will bring order to the chaos that rules the Outworld.
Dairu.
A former member of the Seidan Guards. He was sentenced to a lifelong incarceration after killing an assassin in a single moment of chaos. Since escaping from prison, he works as a mercenary for hire. The first concept work for Dairu was done during the development of Deadly Alliance. After the character was cut from the game, he was significantly redesigned for Deception.
Darius.
The leader of the resistance movement in the realm of Sado, and the person behind the corruption of the guardsman Dairu.
Cobra.
One of the newest recruits of Cabal's Black Dragon. Having been arrested for taking countless lives on the streets of New York, Cobra was recruited by the leader of the criminal organization after he broke out of prison. Many fans consider Cobra to be a clone of Ken, one of Street Fighter's most popular characters. This is based not only on the design similarities, but also on the fact that the developers reference the character as Ken Masters before giving him his final name.
Kira.
As a black market weapons dealer, she was selling weapons to terrorists when she was discovered and became the very first recruit of the new Black Dragon. Kira's character borrows properties including design, weapons and special moves from both Kano and Sonya.
Ashra.
A demon from the Netherrealm and a former member of the Brotherhood of Shadows. Ashra is looking for a way to escape the Dark Realm by slaying other demons with her sword, thus purifying her soul. During the development of the game, fans often assumed that she has a connection to Raiden, mostly due to the look of both characters.
Shujinko.
Fooled into thinking that he is a champion of the Elder Gods, Shujinko is led on a false quest to serve them, without knowing he is in fact preparing the return of the Dragon King. Even though the character was never seen in previous installments, his story begins years before the first Mortal Kombat game. The former Emperor of Outworld returns from the dead to reclaim his army and once again rule over his realm. Possessing and enhancing the body of Reptile, Onaga will stop at nothing to achieve his goal of total domination. The return of the Dragon King is hinted in Deadly Alliance through the stories of Reptile and Blaze. He appears in Deception as the final boss and the ultimate antagonist.
Noob Smoke.
Noob Saibot and the robot ninja Smoke are fused into one tag team character and serve as a sub-boss of the game. The idea of switching between the two characters was well received by the fans, even though separate versions of them were not available. Noob Smoke is, to this day, one of the most used characters in the game. In addition to all these fighters, the game uses all Deadly Alliance characters for battles in Conquest. These are, of course, not selectable from the character select screen, as the developers never intended for them to be playable, but they can be easily accessed via cheat codes. The Deadly Alliance characters are not the only ones who can be accessed in this manner. A Conquest mode exclusive character named Monster is also selectable by using a cheat code. With the exception of a few glitches, all these fighters are fully playable. Mortal Kombat Deception offers a large number of interactive arenas that have a very significant role in the gameplay. Fighters can transition between several levels of the arena, interact with objects scattered around it, obtain a very powerful weapon, or even trigger a death trap that will end the fight prematurely. One of the arenas was highly praised for its ability to instantly morph during battle, setting the bar high for other fighting games. Many classic backgrounds returned in a new form and with an enhanced version of the original soundtrack. All of them complemented the overall great music and dark atmosphere of the game. With the exception of the increased speed and the changed gravity, the gameplay has retained most of the basic properties of Deadly Alliance. The player can switch between 3 different fighting styles, including 1 weapon base. What did not make the transition was the weapon impalements and power-ups. The number of available special moves was significantly increased, but there are less described combos per character. The uppercut and the sweep return as common attacks after the highly criticised decision to remove them in Deadly Alliance. Responding to the fans' desire for more finishing moves, the number of fatalities per character was doubled. A new finishing move called Harakiri was introduced to continue the struggle of the battle, even after one of the fighters has been defeated. With it, the losing player gets the chance to perform a suicide before the opponent can perform a fatality on them. Introduced in this game were 3 indicators located beneath the character's life bar. They show whether the fighter is in any potential danger. Also new to the franchise is the use of breakers, which allowed the immediate cancellation of the enemy's attack. This new feature came, however, with a bug which allowed certain characters to perform a free hit during the attempted breaker of the opponent. In addition to this issue, 2 other major problems existed. The game does not handle the 2 players equally, and player 1 has a greater advantage. And due to a programming glitch, players are able to exploit the throwing system and perform unblockable throws. These problems led to an overall broken gameplay, unsuitable for tournaments. As a result, the attempt to bring the game to Evolution 2005 was unsuccessful. According to Ed Boon, the focus of the team was not the competitive scene, but rather the casual players, who simply want to start the game and have fun. To bring back the arcade spirit of the first Mortal Kombat games, and to make it easier for people to play against each other without necessarily being in the same room, the developers implemented support for online play. For this very welcome new feature, Mortal Kombat Deception was included in the Gamers Edition of the Guinness World Records as the earliest 3D fighting game to offer online play. The feature was supported by all game modes, with the exception of Conquest, and made its contribution to the replayability of the game. The official online servers were shut down several years after the game was released.
Toasty.
Deception is in us all.
Next to the standard versions of Deception, 4 different collector's editions for the Xbox and the premium edition for the PlayStation 2 were released in the United States. Each of them had a different character displayed on the cover and a collector's card of that character. In addition, these versions included a bonus disc with character videos, an updated version of the history of the franchise, and an arcade emulated version of the original Mortal Kombat. Developed by Digital Eclipse, this is the best home version to hit store shelves to that day. The game itself does not have the quality of the original, as it suffers from small input delays, increased speed, occasional slowdowns and minor sound problems. But it is a big step forward when compared to the previously released home versions. A rare promotional collector's edition DVD, similar to the one for Deadly Alliance, was released in the United Kingdom. It contains even more bonus materials than the US versions, but not the original Mortal Kombat.
Goro, Shao Kahn. Excellent.
Several months after the release of the game, a US exclusive GameCube version was announced. Due to a management decision over at Midway, the title did not reach fans in other territories. The game appeared on February 28, 2005, and has several key differences when compared to the original. The Shokan Prince Goro and the Emperor of Outworld Shao Kahn return, increasing the number of playable characters to 26. Half of the previously hidden fighters are available from the beginning, and several bugs and gameplay problems have been fixed, resulting in a more polished game. There was, however, one area in which the GameCube version was lacking, and that was the admittance of online play. With the release of the game, several different companies jumped at the chance to create licensed products based on it. Next to the Epic Battle trading cards, a limited edition comic book, and the standard game guide, Deception was the first game of the franchise for which custom controllers and an interactive guide were created. Upon its release, Mortal Kombat Deception received generally favourable reviews and was well received by most of the fans, winning several awards for Best Fighting Game of 2004 and being recognised for its diverse gameplay, giant scope, and its contribution to online gaming. The one area in which the game failed was the tournament scene. Even the completely overhauled rendering engine and many plot twists were not enough to make up for the several serious gameplay issues, which caused the game's considerably quick death when compared to other titles of the franchise. In spite of this, Mortal Kombat Deception holds a very special place in the hearts of many fans, who, to this day, consider it one of the best games of the franchise. With Mortal Kombat once again in the spotlight, several characters made appearances outside the borders of the franchise.
So vote for me.
In the summer of 2004, Scorpion appeared as a hidden skin in the third-person shooter PsyOps, the Mindgate Conspiracy. A year later, Raiden appeared as a guest character in Unreal Championship 2. This Xbox-exclusive version of Epic's first-person shooter was published by Midway. Both games received generally favourable reviews and were very well received by the fans. Much more happened during the development of Deception, as several other Mortal Kombat projects were also in development. Immediately after the release of the game, Midway even announced the next major installment of the franchise, proving that the history of Mortal Kombat is far from over.